proportion equations. All right, proportion means it's like in division form. So what we're gonna do is, since there's an equal sign, we're gonna cross multiply. So I'll just draw little lines. So what we're gonna do is, it doesn't matter which place you're gonna start, if you start 4 times 6 or 3 times x. So let's do 4 times 6 and 3 times x. See, I'm putting parentheses for multiplication. Then we have 4 times 6, 24 equals 3x. Now we're going to divide by whatever's next to our variable, which is our x. And our final answer is going to be 8. Okay. Now there's a way to check this. I'll do that after I solve this whole page. Okay, in this situation, number 2, you don't have a denominator, which is the item on the bottom. So what you could do is make 2 into a fraction. So let's do a red pen. Put a 1 over there. And now we have the same deal as in number 1. So we're gonna cross multiply. Let's start on this side. So 4x times 1 is just 4x, and 2 times 2 is 4. And then last step, we divide whatever's next to our variable, which is 4 this time. X equals 1. All right. And our last one on this page, cross multiply. So we're gonna have 3x times negative 8 equals 4 times 3. All right. Now we're going to multiply both sides. And then last step we're going to divide. Now, over here, see what's next to next? It's a larger number, no big deal. Sometimes you will have a fraction in your answer. So we're going to divide by whatever's next to our variable, which is our x. Okay, at this point we could reduce. If you're using decimals, you could just reduce in decimals. If not, if you want to do it by hand, that's fine too. You could divide 12 to the top and 12 to the bottom. So that would give you negative, don't forget negative 1 over 2. Now, what is half in decimals? You could just do 1 divided by 2. It gives you 0.5 or negative 0.5. So either or. Whatever, you need to do or test ask you for, all right? Let's move on, and we'll check these in decimals. I'll do a couple of them. I'm not going to do all of them. It's a lot. All right. Now we're getting a little bit more difficult problems, but still manageable. So number 4, same deal. We are cross multiplying. It doesn't matter what side you start with. I'm going to start with the 5. Now, see how I'm writing this? 5 times my parentheses, and my next term is x minus 3. So times x minus 3 equals 2 times 15. All right. I could put parentheses there, or I don't have to. All right, with this one here, it looks like distribution property. So that's what we are going to be doing. We're going to be distributing. So we don't really need that parenthesis right there. And 2 times 15. All right, so let's distribute. Distribution means multiplication. Now if you want to put 1 there, you can, if it makes life easier. So 5 times 1 is just 5x minus 5 times 3, 15 equals 30. Now you wanted to solve for the variable. You do not want to touch it till less, because you have 2 numbers and these are like terms. So opposite operation, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. That cancels. And then last step, we are going to be dividing. So most of the time in any kind of equation, 99% most is dividing. Ooh, I'm running out of space. All right. And we will check these in decimals in a bit. Like to see if they were correct. All right, next one up, same deal. I'm going to cross multiply. So 1 times anything, it's just anything. So I don't think I need to write that out. And 2 times 2 is just 4. Now let's solve our 2-step equation, opposite operation. All right, and last step, divide. Okay. Let's move on to number 6. Now here we don't have a bottom, so which is our denominator. I'm just gonna put 1, make it into a fraction. Same deal, cross multiply, and we have a 1 again. So 1 times this whole term is still the whole term. All right, and opposite operation. So our final answer will be 2. Okay, because these cancel. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So, okay. Let's move on to number 7. So what you're seeing is the equations are getting more difficult as the number increases. All right. In this situation, we have some negatives. No big deal. It's the same deal. Cross multiply. So you could put 1s there if you want. Not much space here. So we have, let me write out more steps for you. So you're gonna have negative 1x times 3 equals 2 times 1x minus 5. Okay, so you just multiply negative 1 times 3, negative 3x equals, and now you're just gonna distribute this side, 2x minus 10. Okay, now it's a little different. You have 2 variables looking at you. So first thing I want to do is try to get 1 variable. So let me just underline them real quick so you can see it. So the way I know which one to move is I don't want to leave an empty side. So I would not move that one, because if you do plus 3x to both sides, this will be a 0. You don't want that, because then it's an extra step. It is doable. If you do that, then you got to put it back, but there's no sense. So we are going to move the 2x. Now, you don't see anything in front of there, so I call it like an imaginary plus. You could put it there if you want. You don't have to. That way you know what operation to use. So if it was plus, you're going to subtract. What you do to one side, you have to do other. That cancels. I'm going to get negative 5x equals negative 10. And last step, divide. Okay. Let's go to number 8. Same deal, cross multiply. So pretty much you're cross multiplying all of these. Anytime you see a proportion, just think of cross multiply, and you have to have an equal sign. All right, 2 times 3, 6. And then that 2 goes on the outside, times, and this whole term, negative 4x minus 1. Okay, bring that down. And then we are distributing. So 2 times negative 4. And 2 times negative 1. So the biggest mistakes I see on here, people forget to distribute this second item. I done it before too. I made that mistake myself, so it's understandable, but that's why I draw those arrows as a reminder that we have to do that. Now we have just 2 numbers, only 1 variable, so we are going to be moving that too. So opposite percent add 2, and we have 8 equals negative 8x, and then we divide by negative 8. X equals proportion again. We are going to cross multiply. 6 times 3, 18. -2, parenthesis, 2x minus 1. Distributing again. Now -2 times -1 is plus 2, because negative times negative is positive. All right. Same deal. We have two numbers, so we are going to be moving that 2. Opposite operation. Okay, and last step, divide. Let's go to number 10. All right, this one here, it looks difficult, but it really isn't. So again, let's put a 1 underneath, make life easier, and we're going to cross multiply again. All right, we're going to put a couple steps on this one. So 6 times 4x equals, and 1 times this whole term is just a whole term. See, it wasn't that difficult. All right, 6 times 4. Do not forget the x. That's one of the mistakes I've seen over the years. Distribute. So 3 times 2. 6x. And 3 times -3, -9. Now again, we have 2 variables. We would like to end up with 1. So same deal on this one. I'll put my plus there. Imaginary plus, so opposite operation, minus 6x. Oops. Don't worry about that. I don't know what that was. So on this side, cancels out. And you're going to bring down the other term, which is -9. So I'm going to have 18x and -9. Now again, the biggest mistake I see with this kind of problem, people want to divide the -9. Nope, no, no. You're dividing whatever's next to the x. And even if it's large, that's all right. Sometime, oh, I'm running out of sometime having a fraction is okay. So that's what we're getting here. So let's do, I'm gonna squeeze it right here. -0.5 or -1/2. So to do it by hand, you divide 9 to the top and the bottom. 9 divided by 9 gives you just 1, and 18 divided by 9 gives you 2. So that's how we got the half. Okay, so our answer is either or. All right, let's go to 11. Okay. Same deal here. I'll make my fraction and then cross multiply. Well, again, we have 1 times that term. It's just a term. And see how I started on this other side? It doesn't matter. Order doesn't matter which one you go with first. And then 4 times 2x. As long as you are cross multiplying, that's what matters here. All right, distribute. 2 times 2. Okay, again, we have 2 variables. We do not want to move this one, because this one, if you move it, you will have an empty side again. We don't need that. So this one here. So imaginary plus again. Actually, let me just highlight it, because it looks like a division sign, and that's what I'm not trying to accomplish that. I don't confuse anyone, so I'm just gonna highlight these instead. Okay. That way you're not thinking you're supposed to divide. Not yet. That's always the last step. All right, so minus 4x. All right, I cancels. And 4 equals 4x. Now, with here, if you're doing using your brain power, 8 minus 4 obviously is 4. But with these kind of like subtraction, let's say you would have had -4 plus 8. Always the larger number carries the sign to the answer. All right, last step. Let's divide by what do you see next to the x, which is 4. and our answer will be -1. All right. Okay, this one is already proportioned. It has everything. It has the bottom and the top, which is numerator and the denominator. So we don't have to make anything into fraction, just go straight to cross multiplying. Now, this one here will be a little different. We are going to be distributing on both sides now. So let's start here. So 3 times 4x minus 8 equals, and then the other 3 times 3x plus 2. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do is one at a time. Doesn't matter which side you start, but usually in math we tell you left to right, so I'll just start on the left. Just makes life easier. But let's say you would have started on this side. No big deal as long as you do both sides. Okay, here, this section I teach, I'm going to highlight these two for you. This is what, there's 4 different ways you could do this problem now, but I'm going to teach you the way you will have less steps and it just makes life easier. So on the right side, which is this side, we will move this variable to the other side. So if there's nothing in front of it, don't forget your imaginary plus, so minus 9x. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. All right? So now you're going to cancel this side, and 12 minus 9. Okay, now you're bringing that term down, minus 24 equals 6. Okay, now at this point you only have one variable, so don't touch it till the last step. So you want to move that 24, because if you move that 6, then you got to bring something back. So it's an extra step and it's not needed. So plus 24. Okay. And then last step, divide. Ooh, I'm running out of room. I'm gonna squeeze in there. X equals 10. All right, one more problem, and then we're going to check some of these in decimals. All right. Okay. So same deal. Cross multiply. Let's start here. 2 times 2x plus 4 equals, and then one to that side. Okay, let's distribute. 2 times 2, 4x plus 8. 8x minus 16. All right, same deal. I'm gonna start on the right side with my variable because I want to have 1 at the end, and moving variables sooner, the next step is a good idea. All right, so plus here, so minus 8x. Okay, there's the situation. It's a good one. So 4 minus 8. So see the negative on a larger number? I already know my answer is going to have a negative because it's the larger number carries the sign to the answer. All right. Bring that down. And you're negative 16. See that negative? Make sure you bring it down. Because if you don't, you might not get this correct. Opposite operation. Alright. Okay, those cancels. And then last step, you have to divide by -4. Alright, so now we are going to start checking these. Before we start, I noticed I made a little boo-boo here. See this? I need my negative here. So my answer, negative divided by negative, is positive. Okay, it's gonna be 6. And this is a good one to show you. if we were correct. We're gonna use, when we test this one, I'm gonna test this one for you. Show you when I test -6 and +6. So I kind of made that on purpose, that boo-boo. So it wasn't a mistake, I just did it because I want to show you how that differs. All right, so what I'm gonna put, let me write it down. I'm gonna do a check. So I'm gonna write it down what I'm gonna put in Desmos. So Desmos, graphing. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna take this side and I'm gonna put that in line 1, and this side I'm gonna put in line 2. What I'm doing, instead of the X, I will plug in the answer. All right, so first one I'm gonna do it correctly to show you that we did this correctly. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 times 6, our right answer, plus 4, divided by 2. So what I did, all I did is take this equation right here and plugged in the answer. All right, in line 2, I put L1. In line 2, I'm gonna do the other one. 4 times 6 minus 8 over 2. Okay, now I'm gonna see what I get. Now, if these two equal each other, then I did this correctly. And then I wanna try, so what I'm trying is the 6. And then I'm gonna try the -6. And to show you how they do not equal, so that you know if that happens to you, maybe mistakes happen. All right, let me move this to Desmos. Let's see. We can see better. Okay, so I need my keyboard. So I'm gonna start out with 2, and then I'm gonna hit divide, and then I'll go back up because we want okay, there it is. And then parenthesis 6, close the parenthesis, plus 4, and then I'll go back down and put my 2. Okay, that gives us 8. Hit enter. Now we're gonna check the other side. 4, divide, and then go back up. Why I'm going to division? Because this way you get the long bar. 6, close that, minus 8 over 2. See that? They both gave me 8. That means they equal each other. And if you could do this in your head, that's fine too. But I'm just using Desmos to show you how it's done, since you are required to use it in the state of Virginia. All right. Now let's show you if, you know, how I said -6 and it was the wrong answer. Let's show you that one to show you why it's, how that would work. Okay. All right. So all we're doing is doing the same thing. And now let's put -6. Close that. 4. Oh, not 3, 2. Okay, that gives us -4. And let's do the second one. So 4 divided by, go back up. And we're doing that -6. We know that's the wrong answer. See that? How they did not equal? You got -4. Let me write these up on a piece of paper too. So that's how you would know if you made a mistake on anything in there, that they do not equal. And that's why it's good to check yourself on your answers. Okay, let me put it on paper to show you. I wrote it out for you. Alright, so the correct one, we did the first one with the 6. See that right there? Let me highlight that for you. We got 6, your answer, and this is where it was plugged into. And we got 8 equals 8, so right there. it proves we did it correctly. Now with this side, we plugged in the wrong answer. So let's see, I'll use a red pencil. To show you that's a wrong answer because -4 does not equal -16. See that? So this is wrong. So I just want to show you how you could tell which one's right, which one's wrong. Okay, this one's correct. All right, you could check any of these problems I did today, this method. Okay, I'm just gonna do one because of the, I don't want the video to be too long. All right, see you next time.